Third Prince Zhang is having a bit of trouble figuring out his Nen ability, and he needs to call in Coapica to help him. But of all of the Guardian Spirit beasts, Zhang is the one that intrigues me the most. The coin puzzle is one of the biggest yet smallest and most difficult mysteries to solve in the succession contest. And honestly, fools are dying left and right, but I'm kinda with Zhang here. There's a lot of death and destruction going on, but I really want to know what's happening with these here coins. So the beautiful thing about Hunter x Hunter is that we can figure out what's happening with the coins, because Nen abilities reflect personalities. Like how Longi's Nen abilities are contracts that requires complete truth and transparency, reflecting her primary desire to have that in her life, as opposed to the lie she's been raised to live. So you can actually look at someone like Zhang Lei, as well as Togashi's real-life inspiration for Zhang Lei, whose name is also Zhang Lei, and the coin puzzle starts to become a lot clearer. Firstly, the best personal description of Zhang Lei was given to us by Shimano, and this is going to be integral to understanding his ability. He is tolerant enough to talk personally on the phone, but he is too proud to stay on hold. He would prefer to avoid bloodshed, but he would not hesitate either. He is both kind and cruel. If we can humor him without offending him, then he would not target us, at least not until the numbers have dwindled. So Zhang Lei himself is like a coin. In every given situation, he has two sometimes seemingly contradictory sides. And the Zhang Lei that you get in any given situation could come down to a personality coin flip. It should be noted that Zhang Lei also refers to his fellow princes as siblings, which is not something that all princes do. In fact, many actively distance themselves from family ties. But Zhang Lei prefers to maintain that familial intimacy to some degree. He likes to play family. But he's also not taken aback by the idea of killing each and every one of them. Although Zhang Lei did seem actively disgusted that the very first prince targeted during the contest was Wobo. And it's not as if Zhang Lei wouldn't kill a baby himself if he had to. It's not against his moral code or anything. And let's be very clear here, he may have to kill that baby. But to target the baby first, that feels wrong to Zhang Lei. So Shimano's assessment is pretty perfect. He'd prefer to avoid bloodshed, but wouldn't hesitate either. He is both kind and cruel. Kind enough to not murder a baby on day 1, but cruel enough to kill it on, say, day 30 if they were the only two princes remaining. He walks a very fine line. At most points, I'd actually describe him more like a coin standing up on its side. Zhang Lei often quite hasn't figured out which side he's going to land on. And this careful nature is because Zhang Lei has a very awkward standing amongst all the princes, and despite being the third eldest prince, he's not quite as influential as you would think for that ranking. This is primarily because of the Kakian queen hierarchy, and the fact that Zhang Lei's mother, Tang Zhaoli, is the third queen. However, 4th Prince Rydnik and 5th Prince Tebepa are the children of the 1st and 2nd queens respectively. So amongst the 5 highest ranking princes, Zhang Lei generally, but not always, holds the least amount of authority, despite the fact that he is technically 3rd. Again, it's an awkward position, because in many ways, Zhang Lei is getting all of the risk of sticking his neck out at the very front without many of the benefits or full protections needed to be there. But then we come to his Guardian Spirit Beast, this very coin and currency focused manifestation of something or other. Zhang Lei himself isn't associated with money, at least not more so than any other prince. They all have effectively infinite wealth to draw upon. However, I think that the coin focus is derived from the real life Zhang Lei. As with a lot of Hunter x Hunter characters, locations, and themes, Zhang Lei is highly likely to be inspired by a real life figure, and there is no shortage of remarkable Zhang Leis in reality. We've got an actor, a singer, a cyclist, a fencer, a volleyball player, a football referee, and many, ever so many more who have added to the grand collective that is Zhang Lei. However, there's one that sticks out to me, and that would be Zhang Lei the investor, who currently has a net worth of somewhere in the region of $3 billion US. Now, for most shonen authors, basing an entire character on a real-life investor would be manga poison. How are you supposed to create all sorts of exciting fight battles inside corporate boardrooms and talking about dividends and stuff? But for Yoshihiro Togashi, this man is on a whole different level. And I think the fact that Zhang Lei's Guardian Spirit Beast is focused mostly on currency so far very potentially points to this being his inspiration, and that his Guardian Spirit Beast could have an investment-based Nen ability. Let's do a bit of thought exercise. Let's apply the world of venture capital to Nen. You are a rich Nen dude, congratulations. But your Nen cash, it's not doing much for you just sitting in the Nen bank. So what you do, right, is you loan some of this power up to selected startups, aka individuals that you believe in, and over time, your coin money multiplies in their possession, and then they eventually pay you back 10 times, 100 times, maybe even 1,000 times your initial investment. And whatever that is represented by the number on the coin. So at the moment, we've only seen coins marked with either a 1 or a 10, but that doesn't mean that bigger and much girthier numbers are not available. But it's not as if the coin bearers get nothing out of this. Zhang Lei invested in them, and so they should be rewarded with a functional business. And a really basic way of that functioning would be to reinsert the coins back into the Guardian Spirit Beast, and then it grants you, say, a Nen ability, with its power being based on how many times over you repaid Zhang Lei's initial investment. That's just an example. I don't think it's that personally. I mean, I hope it's not that because we have a lot of that happening elsewhere in this arc. But also, an ability like that, I don't know, it seems very useful for the succession contest. And Zhang Lei doesn't seem to believe that his ability is all that useful right now. In fact, he has his own theory. The beast drops a coin every day. I wager it's meaningless for me to hold on to them myself. I expect to see real results once I become a king and distribute them to my people. Considering the rate of production, I can't imagine it fulfilling a role as ordinary currency, but perhaps a medal or a reward. But then, it wouldn't need to be a Nen ability. It wouldn't need to be a Nen ability without some extraordinary power. There's nothing to do but sit and wait and see what happens. I have a feeling it could come to affect every single citizen, but it seems insignificant for now. It reflects my personality to a sickening degree. How I worry more about what happens after I take the throne long before I get there. I bet my spirit beast will exhibit maximum utility after I become king. Now, Zhang Lei knows next to nothing about Nen, and that's why he's had to call in the big gun that is Kurapika. However, he's very correct in his assessment that the ability reflects his personality, and so I would very much trust his judgment until proven otherwise. But the Guardian Spirit Beast itself resembles a Dhammachakra, which is a symbol used to represent Buddha's Dharma, aka his teachings, and the universal moral order. So I do think that this ability functions on a much larger scale than we can currently imagine, because I don't know what the value of a handful of coins are, and at best the succession contest will last 2 months. That's when it's expected that they'll land at the new continent. So that's approximately 60 or so coins produced at most over that period. But from Zhang Lei's interpretation, I feel like we may not see the true potential of this power until we have thousands, maybe even 10,000 coins in circulation. All of which can only take place assuming that Zhang Lei wins the succession contest. However, we do have one piece of objective analysis of the Guardian Spirit Beast, because the narrator text described it as follows. Third Prince Zhang Lei's Guardian Spirit Beast. Conjurer, compound type, multiple abilities activated by multiple conditions. Someone who possesses a coin after fulfilling certain conditions will gain various abilities. Now, we don't know what a compound type is yet, this is new terminology, but I would hazard a guess that Knuckles' APR may also be a compound type Nen Beast as well due to its focus on compound interest. And we do know that the coins are compounding, we just don't know what causes them to do that. At this stage, all we know is that it's not time. But in any case, what this would point to is a Guardian Spirit Beast that starts out very slowly, almost completely useless right from the get-go, but one that becomes much more dangerous at a startlingly quick rate the further we get down the line, just like the principle of compound interest. And we should also examine these coins themselves. They hold a lot of meaning because, again, the coin motif, it is perfect for Zhang Lei, because he himself is always described as a series of double-sided, almost oxymoronic features, and even Zhang Lei has described himself as a balance between light and dark. He thinks himself to be the only potential future king who can wield both the public and the underworld aspects of the Kakin Empire. But the face of the coins are adorned with a plant known as the Hotunia cordata, which is also called fish mint, fish leaf, rainbow plant, chameleon plant, and even heart leaf, although in Japanese it is referred to as dokudami, meaning poison blocking plant. And it's mainly used in the culinary arts, although it does also have uses in traditional medicine. So it doesn't appear to be something sinister, it seems like quite the friendly plant, and I think this very much points to the duality that is Zhang Lei. Very friendly face, could be quite lovely to deal with, perhaps even delicious. But I do have to ask, what's going on the other side of that coin? Well, we have yet to see the second side of the coin in reality. However, Zhang Lei did have a mental image of what would happen after he became king, and it features what appears to be the backside of the coins with a palace on it, I'm assuming the Kakin Palace. But in close-up shots, the coins have a very sinister aura emanating from them, with the classic vroom sound effect that Togashi uses for ominous nens. It often accompanies the projection of Ren, for example, which indicates that possessing a coin may not necessarily be a good thing. One or even a series of abilities that this Guardian Spirit Beast is capable of may have negative effects on those who have the coins, of which, not including Zhang Lei himself, there are currently 3 people. The first person to receive a coin was Benjamin Soldier Kaventaba, who was assigned to guard Zhang Lei Lei and picked up the coin produced on the first day without anyone noticing. So that's very important because Zhang Lei says that there are only 10 coins. That's what he believes. He's wrong. There's actually 11 coins in circulation. Meanwhile, in exchange for the hope that she'll play for him again, in chapter 400, Zhang Lei visited Melody in custody and gifted her a coin as, quote, proof of his respect. And finally, Zhang Lei's bodyguard, Tenfutori, currently has a whopping 2 coins that Zhang Lei has gifted him as rewards for loyal service. And Zhang Lei himself currently has the other 7, one of which has recently transformed from a 1 into a 10. And the other coin that's had its value raised is the one held by Kaventaba, which tells us that whatever the conditions for increases are, they're probably not based on loyalty because Kaventaba is acting on behalf of First Prince Benjamin. And Kaventaba also has his own personal Nen theory. He's currently under the assumption that these coins do act as currency and can be reinserted into the mouth of the Guardian Spirit Beast to obtain something, sort of like a Nen vending machine. However, he's been most unwilling to test this theory so far, as there's been no opportunity to do so without making it extremely obvious and revealing that he had a coin all along. But I do think this is definitely the most logical first step. And it could be a combination of Kaventaba and Zhang Lei's theories. Someone could put their coin back into the Guardian Spirit Beast, after which point it would conjure a new object of equal value to the coin. So with the prosperity of the Karkin Empire in mind, let's say that a farmer was to put a valuable coin back in, and then the Guardian Spirit Beast conjured some sort of special seeds to help the Karkin food supply. Or a painter inserts a coin and then the Guardian Spirit Beast conjures a special Nen brush. Something that'll make the artist famous worldwide and bring great cultural honor to Karkin. Stuff like that. Things that would greatly assist and give huge advantages to any growing empire, but not necessarily tools that will help you murder 13 of your closest siblings in a death game. Which makes Zhang Lei a potentially extremely vulnerable prince, more so than even Woble. Although that would also make him more amenable to some sort of collaboration, which takes us to our current situation. Zhang Lei has recently been informed that if he, Tebepa, and Woble are the final 3 princes remaining, then Tebepa and Woble will renounce the throne and allow Zhang Lei to become king. By the way, one of the reasons why Zhang Lei was surprised to hear that Tebepa agreed to this is because she has a stronger queen ranking than he does. So it's not as simple as, oh, obviously 5th prince defers to 3rd prince. They have roughly equal claims, which definitely gives us a lot of potential with Kurapika, whose goal is to stall this contest. And I'm greatly looking forward to receiving Kurapika's analysis of the coins, hopefully in the next chapter. And in the meantime, you let me know what you think the coins do in the comments below.